special DLC add-on for our episode examining the women as reward trope. If you haven't seen that video yet, I suggest watching it first before continuing to view this one.
Yes, Anita, I have done, and I'm not impressed with that either.
We've coined the women as reward trope to describe a long-running pattern found in interactive media. It occurs when women, or more often women's bodies, are employed as rewards for player actions in video games.
Really, Anita? That's what you've come up with? A pixelated representation of a female character in a bikini. Couldn't you find any sort of, modern games that are actually rendered lifelike? For fuck's sake. I mean, this 8-bit picture. Whoa, I better just go take the one-eyed vicar out for a stroll.
The trope frames female bodies as collectible, as tractable, or as consumable, and positions women as status symbols designed to validate the masculinity of presumed straight male players.
So you're presuming that, it's only straight male players, or straight male white privileged players, that are getting off on the realistic nature of some of these half-naked women in video games. You don't seem to think that women could be getting off on it.
As we discussed in our full episode, this trope manifests in a number of ways, including earned cinematics, Easter eggs, unlockable costumes, experience points, collectibles, and achievements.
Anita, you're still not making a valid point. I mean, come on. You're not a games player. I very much doubt you've played any of these fucking games. You come along, hats off and kudos to you for making that much money off of a series you haven't even completed yet. An additional whatever it was, 500,000. From my eyes, there's no difference I can see between you and, let's say, fucking, Kent Hovind. He's doing the exact same thing, but with religion. It's a fucking cash cow for you.
However, the women as reward trope can take another, slightly different form. Instead of rewarding players for actions taken within the game environments, this one offers women's bodies to players as rewards for actions taken in the real world, namely forking over real money for DLC or pre-orders that then grants gamers the opportunity to play with and ogle female characters in more sexualized outfits or situations.
I don't believe you just said that. I mean, yeah, we fork over money for extra costumes and what have you. I'll give you an example. Tomb Raider, the Definitive Collection. The costumes in there, they're all free. And to be honest, I don't find any of them sexual. I mean, especially the Hunter one where she's covered in fucking mud. I mean, you're no one to talk about forking over money to enjoy something. Are you really? You know what I mean? You're more like the fucking, the Ken Dodd of the internet. Fucking YouTube. Oh, you crack me up.
DLC is short for downloadable content and can refer to a wide range of additional features or extensions to a pre-existing game, which can be purchased and downloaded digitally.
Yes, you're absolutely correct in that downloadable content is something that you pay for because it is really designed, well, what it's basically designed for is to increase the longevity of games. Something a bit extra, something a bit different. Do you not understand that?
While DLC can include everything from extra maps to new levels, from more missions to better gear, for the purposes of this trope, I'm focusing on costume packs that offer sexualized variants of female game characters for an extra fee. Final Fantasy XIII-2 offers a revealing beachwear costume for the game's protagonist. But unlike the alternative outfits I discussed in the main video, this one is not unlockable via gameplay. Instead, it could be unlocked for $2.99. This is only one example, but sexualized DLC outfits have become standard practice in some gaming genres.
No, I don't believe you. Noel would never give in to you.
Yeah, and we're still waiting for your point, and, are we ever going to get there? Still don't get it, Anita. Why the fuck are you bitching about Final Fantasy X2 and an unlockable costume? Does it piss you off that people have to pay $2.99 to unlock it? That to me gives people the choice whether they want to or not. It's an opt-in or don't opt-in choice. It's not being forced down people's throats. Is it?
In our full video on this trope, we highlight some of the ways mainstream pornography has been seeping into video games as a reward for player actions.
Yep, you heard right. She said pornography.
The third installment in the Saints Row series pushed this pornification trend even further by partnering with Penthouse magazine. When purchased, the resulting DLC offered gamers the chance to add digital versions of real-life Penthouse pets to the player's gang.
And again, Anita, your point of this is these girls like showing off their body, and for being a male, heterosexual male at that, I don't mind looking. It does no harm. It is not degrading women, appreciating their beauty, and the aesthetically pleasing costumes that they wear that only add to their beauty, to their sexiness. As males, we're biologically programmed to find the opposite sex attractive. Or else how over the fucking millennia do you think the human race has survived?
Pre-order bonuses are extras awarded to gamers that pay for a game before it's been released.
Right, in case you get to watch this, Anita, this is what you should be concentrating on to really help women instead of this fucking first world bullshit that you keep going on about. Because it's nice and safe subject and you can wrap yourself up in cotton wool.
Well, I was 16 and it was a nice warm day, normal day. There was no idea it was going to happen. The room was already prepared for our cutting, because in Sierra Leone we call it the cutting. So in that room, as I laid on the floor, another friend of my mom, who's quite big, she sat on my chest. She almost is sitting to keep me quiet from screaming because I was fighting and like, what's going on? And at the same time, people are pulling my clothing and pulling my knickers. So she came in with the knives and little blades in her hand, and a cloth was put in my mouth so I couldn't scream.
Now, I don't care who you are. After watching that, comparing, Anita's little problems that she have with being offended by every fucker. Do you not think, Anita, that you should be spending your time focusing on helping people that actually need it? Or are you as cold as ice? In fact, Anita, let's take a look at, another person's story about FGM.
And my legs were spread apart, and I felt a sharp cut in between my legs. And after that, I screamed. I screamed so loud. As I speak to you, I can still feel the blade going through my skin.
So, come on, Anita, do you think so far any of these two women are really bothered about, having their feelings hurt online? Do you not think some sort of bigger crime against women is being committed to these? Instead, no, you focus on my feelings have been hurt on the internet and I can't cope. Please, somebody do something. Or better still, Anita, this next clip I'm going to show you. Tell me what you think about it. You know, just, speak out and tell me what comparison this sort of action against women has in relation to yours. And you call yourself a feminist.
In an expensive BMW, two men drive around Derby looking for young girls, vulnerable children, to impress and then abuse. This CCTV footage shows them approaching girls in the street and trying to lure them into the vehicle. Abid Sadiq and Mohammed Learcat were the ringleaders of a 2-year campaign of rape and exploitation of girls, one as young as 12.
Well, how about it, Anita? What's your thoughts? Why don't you take some of that hard-earned cash and create a safe space for real victims of misogyny, instead of a safe space for people who think triggering is a real problem? Fuck's sake.
Here, Learcat buys vodka in a petrol station. Moments later, he was plying a girl with the drink before holding her down for another man to abuse. Cruising the streets of Derby, the men would groom the girls that they found. They'd offer them a ride in their car and then give them cigarettes, alcohol, and even drugs. Sometimes the girls would be brought to properties like this one. They'd be told that there was a party, but once inside, they'd be raped. Violent abuse that was often filmed on mobile phone.
Karen's daughter Jane was just 11 when she was befriended by an Asian man 10 years her senior. A friendship which began with gifts and rides in flash cars quickly turned into something very different.
One day she came back, and I'll never forget. She came walking up the road, and she was still drugged up. And she'd been taken to Manchester that night, and then brought back the next morning.
Karen says Jane, who've changed both their names, had clearly been raped. Soon there were queues of different men coming to call.
I got a video sent to my phone. 3 Asian men assaulting my daughter. They were calling her white trash. They were calling her a prostitute, saying she was nothing but like a dog.
A large number of police were at Nottingham Crown Court today as the men were sentenced. Their horrific crimes have caused much public anger.
They're incredibly dangerous men. Not only were they violent, but they used intimidation, violence, they sexually abused and assaulted the girls, and they were a clear threat, as can be seen.
So I'll leave it with this final thought. Here's the title for this video that I've just worked out as well. Tropes versus reality. Where's the real feminism? What do you think? Please leave a comment below and subscribe. Take it easy.
Subscribe.